To my right is Detective Inspector Peter Charlemagne. He's the Senior Investigating Officer and will update you on the facts of the shootings last night. I'm now in a position to name the young man who tragically died last night following the shooting as Stefan Burgess, who was 24 years of age and lived in the parish of Pembroke. On behalf of the Commissioner, the Bermuda Police Service wishes to extend its condolences to the family and friends of the victim. The second victim, who was also shot at the same time as Mr. Burgess, remains in hospital and his condition is described as stable at the moment. His injuries are not thought to be life-threatening. As you'll be well aware, this is the first gun-related murder for 8 months, the last one being in May last year. Firearms offences in general have reduced considerably over the last 12 months. Having said that, I and the Bermuda Police Service know how things can spiral. And we have seen over the last few weeks and over the holiday period that increases in gun violence have started to escalate. And once again, tit-for-tat element appears to be one of the major concerns for the Bermuda Police Service. As a result of that, we have put more officers, both armed and unarmed, onto the streets of Bermuda. We will continue to increase those resources as and when necessary. We will also continue to use all lawful opportunities to suppress gang activity. That will include stop and searches, roadblocks and other lawful means. And while I cannot say with certainty that this was a gang-related shooting, the likelihood is that gang affiliations could have played a part. We are not treating this as a random attack and believe that the address and or the occupants were in fact targeted. But we must remain open-minded as to the potential motives. Detective Inspector Charlemagne will now go through some of the facts of the case.
May I start by offering my sincere condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Burgess on behalf of the investigating team and that of the Bermuda Police Service. At 9 p.m. on Sunday, January 8, 2012, police officers responded to a 911 report of 2 persons having been shot at number 60, the Glebe Road, Pembroke Parish. A 24-year-old man, whom I can now identify as Mr. Stefan Burgess of Pembroke Parish, suffered multiple gunshot wounds and subsequently succumbed to his injuries at the King Edward Memorial Hospital. Mr. Burgess leaves behind a girlfriend, an infant child, and numerous members of the family and friends. A forensic autopsy is planned for tomorrow, Tuesday. Another 24-year-old male from Devonshire Parish received gunshot wound and is being treated at the King Edward Memorial Hospital. His injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. A full complement of detectives from the Bermuda Police Service Serious Crimes Unit is investigating this incident, and is being considered as premeditated murder and that of Mr. Burgess, and attempted murder of the 24-year-old Devonshire Parish man. A family liaison officer has been assigned to the family of Mr. Burgess and to the other victim. The scene is still being kept under police guard at this time, and forensic crime scene examiners and detectives continue examination of the scene for evidence to help further this investigation. Detectives are also speaking to witnesses. Following receipt of certain information this morning and subsequent arrest operations, I can confirm that 1 man was arrested on suspicion of murder and the other arrested for conspiracy to commit murder and are currently in custody. 1 male is aged 25 and the other is aged 39 years old. The inquiry team is anxious to speak with anyone who were in the Glebe Road area, St. Monica's and North Shore Road Pembroke during the time of the incident that may have seen persons on a motorcycle or also on foot within that area between 8:30 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. That's last night, the evening of Sunday, January 8th. The suspects were believed to be wearing dark-colored clothing with dark helmets and tinted visors. The serious crime unit can be contacted directly on 247-1079 or the main police number 29500. Alternatively, persons can also contact the confidential and independent Crime Stoppers hotline 800-847 for tips. Thank you.
You stated as a result of information received this morning, 2 men have been arrested. Is that an indication that the public are more forthcoming and perhaps an indication that they're fed up with this?
To answer your first question, yes, they are more forthcoming, but there are other people that we still need to speak to, and we're trying to make contact with them, but the public is more forthcoming.
And would you say number 16 Glebe Road is a known trouble spot? I've heard residents say that guys of a certain persuasion hang out there daily.
I'm not in a position to answer.
Inspector Charlemagne, did you say 2 men are in custody at the moment?
Yes.
And one is suspected of murder, the other suspected of conspiring to murder?
Yes.
Which one is suspected of the murdering? Is the 25-year-old?
Yes, it is 25.
In the act of arresting these 2 suspects, was the murder weapon recovered?
No weapons have been recovered.
CCTV should have caught something. Is that being looked into?
Could have, not necessarily should have, but certainly yeah, that will be a line of inquiry.
Yes.
There are reports that we have that the deceased was involved in an altercation, a serious one, with another man in the same area last week. Have you heard of this, and do you think there's any link?
That's not something for operational reasons that we'd like to discuss at this conference.
And why do you have reason to believe they were targeted?
The way in which the shooting occurred, this does not appear to be a random attack. So the hypothesis at the moment is that this house, or indeed these people, were targeted. Again, it isn't clear which of those 2 is true.
So it's not necessary they were after this young man?
It's not. No, that's true.
And this house is a known trouble spot?
We can't confirm that at the moment, but it's certainly one of the investigative elements that we'll be looking at.
Are there any other questions?
Last one, it's rumored that the last night's shooting is connected to the shooting in Southampton before, I think, Christmas. Any you comment on that?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, we'll keep an open mind, and that's certainly something that we'll be looking into.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Can you tell us whether or not the event took place on the public property or private property?
We're not in a position to further explain on this, but it did occur near the road.
It was outside the shooting?
From the preliminary inquiries that we've done with our forensic examination of the property, it may have begun outside and continued into the residence. But the place is still cordoned off, and we are doing some more examination to confirm.
You may have already said this, but do you believe the shooter was on foot or was on a vehicle?
The shooter, we are not certain how he got to the residence. However, he was on foot when the incident occurred.
Okay.